What we have here today are 10 strange computer mice, each one weirder than the last. The worst one will get smashed with a hammer. And the best one, I might keep or something. Let's fucking do it!
This is the 8-bit Do N30 2.4 GHz wireless mouse for PC, Windows, and Mac OS that normally goes for $30, but I got it for $24.
Okay, not like a funny thing to show, but I just want to show that the 8-bit Do mouse comes, unsurprisingly, with the best packaging, because it was, not like it was expensive, but it's a reputable brand. It still doesn't come with a battery, though. They cheaped out on that, but you get the cover over it, you get the nice box, you get, like, foam in there. Look at this. Like, they got a little spot where it just cradles it in there. That's crazy. They just have everything. Wow. It's amazing what $20 or whatever the hell this was. Not a ton of money can get you if somebody gives a shit about it.
Okay, so here's the thing with this mouse. Yes, it looks really nice. It fits the NES look that you'd want out of this thing. That's why you get it, because it looks cool. The problem is, well, number one, ergonomically it sucks. These hard edges they're just like the right angles on here is not good for your hand. It just doesn't feel right. And that's bad because it'll just dig into your hand on the edges there. Like this back part is fine because it's curved, but this might be a problem. I realize that my hand is kind of small, so this is probably more comfortable if you have regular sized hands. But even if you do, the other issue, look here, is that these buttons here, right? Because the buttons do feel like actual NES buttons. They fit the part just fine. But the issue is that normally when you have a mouse, you have these two slabs of area here that are just you can touch anywhere on those and push down, it'll click. But here you have to be directly on these buttons to do it, which might be good for something where you're playing a game, you have to click a lot. You can just do that really quickly. It's there. But very rarely is that going to come in handy. And it just makes it harder to specifically hit this. You have to be really on them. It's harder to just kind of lazily put pressure anywhere. It has to be right there. The D-pad also feels really good, but I never really use side buttons on a mouse, but at least this is left and right. You have forward, backward, then you have page up, page down. So that's fine. I think that works pretty well. If you use that anyways. And you might be thinking, well, how do you scroll? Because they didn't put a scroll wheel in here. Well, you can't tell because the middle area here looks just normal, but this actually is a scrolling area. If you just move around here, it's touch activated, and that's your scrolling, which is not great, but it does work. So it's not oh man, I can't scroll. It's just not the best. It's weird that they even put detail on the bottom here. They even have the little details of oh, look at the the lines here, the kind of styling on that and everything. They really went all out to make this look the part. Also the receiver, you have this, and it's oh yeah, they got the same color on it and everything. Even inside the little area in here, you can see they got the color, so that's cool. The problem is this, for whatever reason, is just doesn't fit in my laptop's USB-A slot. I don't know why. It's just slightly too big or something. Nothing else I've tried to plug into that has had the problem. So I just had to plug it into this adapter, and then plug this into the USB-C slot, and then it worked. But it also runs a little bit warm, so I don't know what that's about. That could just be the adapter, though. So that's not on 8-bit Do. But ultimately, yes, this is just really really fairly uncomfortable to use. While I got used to it, I mean, it's not that bad. It's at least usable. It's just not at all ideal. I found myself mostly using it like more like this, kind of at an angle, and my hands up higher on it, um, rather than being like all the way over it. It's kind of like just clawing it like this, so that I could easily still hit the buttons and also manipulate the mouse. And I didn't accidentally hit any of these, so yeah, if you're looking to get one of these, I would mostly recommend getting it for the collection. If you have like an NES shelf or something, or like, I don't know, you just want your setup to look cool. I mean, this is something you look at. It's not something you actually use. And the fact that it's $30, 8-bit do, I expected more out of you.
This is the Hedgehog Health Hoglet Wireless Computer Mouse. Cute, functional, and tactile fidget tool combines stress relief with comfort and style. Perfect for enhancing focus and productivity. Blue. And this cost $30. Oh man, this unboxing experience. Wow. I mean, I realized this mouse was a little costlier than the other ones, but look at this. Look at this. They have the slide off top and nice stuff all over this. You got stuff on the inside of the box. It's all different colors and stuff. And in here, you got it sitting in a nice little plastic insert. Okay. So you got the mouse, which also looks like it's just like a cover thing on this. And you could probably take this off and just use it like a regular mouse. I'll probably give that a shot as well. It also comes with batteries. Imagine that, getting this and actually having batteries with it. None of the other ones did that. Even has the molding thing for this. Has the molding for the batteries to go there. So nice. You get a little sticker. That's cool. Manual is fine. There's nothing like weird or misspelled or anything. It's very straightforward stuff for the manual. Great. And look at this. You have this little thing here where you could do the big pictures with this and tag them on Facebook or Instagram, and they will give you stuff for hashtag Hoglets in the wild to win prizes from to receive Hedgehog Health apparel, which I don't know that I want that, but it's that's look at this. Just why did no one else? I mean, okay, so most of them are cheaper than this. That's why they didn't put in the effort. But 8-Bit Do didn't even do this. They didn't even give me a battery for that mouse, and that mouse was really just for show. So I'm good on these guys. I'm setting the bar so high. Okay, so the battery cover is really difficult to get off. I had to get like a screwdriver to pry that off. So that's annoying. But now I'm going to put in the batteries they gave me. Genuine Vinic batteries, which have 0% mercury. So that's good. Do you think they have any Venus in them? Alright, this mouse honestly is not that bad. It's fairly good, to the point where I think I used this for like an extra day just because it was surprisingly actually pretty nice. And like having these things on here, like I don't really need the whole fidget thing for this. Basically, it's kind of like if you're someone who needs to have this sensory, like I'm feeling stuff while I'm using a mouse, or like a fidget thing to like keep you occupied or whatever. That's sort of the idea behind this. That's kind of how they were gearing this. But even as someone who doesn't need that, I think these are kind of nice because it gives you a bit of extra grip, and it's like it's soft. They're like like silicone stuff or whatever. So like, it actually is pretty comfortable. It slides fairly well, honestly, as well, which is nice. I mean, it's if you get this all like fitted on here correctly and everything, like yeah, it's good. And the clicks are soft on that. The scroll wheel has like a little like a bit of like something in it. There's like a little thing in the seam. I don't know if that's even going to show up on camera very well. There's a little seam on that scroll wheel part there. They should have maybe joined it on a different spot, I guess, so it wouldn't affect that. But it's because it's like a ball almost. But it's honestly just feels fine and runs smooth. It has a 2.5 whatever 2.4 gigahertz receiver. The USB receiver is what I should have said. It has that, and it works totally fine. I also like it that even though I have like smaller hands, this is a bit big for my hands. The thing is, because it has this extra area, it's still easy to have my hand back here and have my I usually have like the back part of my palm there is kind of like sitting on the table anyways when I'm like moving stuff around. So having it like this, I can still kind of manipulate the way I normally would a mouse, and I can click down here. I don't have to be like way up here or anything. I can have it lower down and it still clicks just fine. That's cool. It also does this thing where it handles its wirelessness almost like a Bluetooth mouse, because usually when you have a 2.4 gigahertz USB receiver, you just plug it in and like it's just kind of on until you switch it off on the bottom. But like with this, it does the power saving thing on it like a Bluetooth mouse would, which is a little annoying. I'd rather it didn't. But if you like the battery saving feature, the good news is that this responds way faster when you wake it up. You can't just like shake it or scroll it, but if you do a click, one click, and it's instantly back up, rather than having to wait for it to kind of reconnect for like a second or two, like a Bluetooth mouse would. That's kind of awesome. So at least if I was idle for a bit and I wiggled this and nothing happened, I could just click and then I would know that I'm ready to go again. And it was very reliable. That's something that's really, really good. I wish Bluetooth mice could do that as well. So I'm actually pretty impressed. And, I mean, there's another thing that's also pretty cool about this. Because you can see this is just like, well, is it just like a regular mouse under here? You can totally take this off. And then it is. It's just a mouse. So you could probably find a mouse of pretty similar dimensions and just huck it into this thing. I mean, it just says it's on the bottom, there's wireless optical mouse on there. So it's not like anything like, particular. So you could probably get a mouse that's similar dimensions and just use that, and it will work just fine. This is a little more comfortable for me, but again, my hands are smaller. It's a little flatter than I want, but still, again, pretty good. So it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of a fancy mouse or anything, but it's pretty cool. This is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Like, they're actually trying with this product. As opposed to, me getting this and just thinking, I'm going to get, I was, to tell you the truth, I was looking at, like, 2 different, like, mice for this, basically, or I guess a number of them. I had it narrowed down to 2. And the other one I had was a very novelty thing of just, like, a stupid cartoon character face. I'm like, no, I'm going to get the Sonic the Hedgehog one. That's what I want to do. And now I'm actually glad I did, because this is surprisingly good. So I definitely would, if you have any of the things where this is like for you, like you need this on your mouse, I would actually recommend it. You could probably get a better mouse for this price as terms of other features and things you might want. But if this is something that actually would appeal to you, definitely. Actually, this is surprisingly good. Pretty cool. Also, I did try to put other mice in it that I have sitting around, and they don't really work. That almost does, but I don't really have anything that's molded quite this shape, so I can't, but maybe you could. At least I tried.
This is the Bluetooth Arc Mouse Foldable, Slim, and Portable Mini Wireless Computer Travel Mouse Folding Optical Touch Mice for Laptop Tablet Black. And this cost $23.
I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera. This you know what's really good when it just says Bluetooth mouse on it. But some of this is just translation stuff, obviously, as English is second on here. Press both buttons of the mouse same time for seconds to match the code. How many seconds? I don't know. And then down here they kind of say it's there. Put into the battery. Bend the mouse and press both left and right buttons simultaneously for seconds. Again, how many? To match the code until blue light glitters on the mouse. Then open the Bluetooth search link on the computer to find out the Bluetooth named as BT4.0 mouse. And on the back wasn't quite as funny, I guess, but the thing I was looking at back here was stuff like wireless transmit distance, It's and then the keystroke, just the one keystroke, and then the strength of button's life. So I mean, some of this is just obviously it's just translation stuff, but it's a you gotta get some humor out of this when you do it. You know, you gotta. Oh, on the side here it says code matching. Code matching via Bluetooth. Press both the left and right buttons simultaneously, and blue light glitters in 6 seconds. So 6 seconds is what we need. 6 seconds. Okay, so apparently this is the Arc Touch. That's the name that they are using. They're just not on the front of the box for some reason. Manual's a little uneventful. Nothing crazy here. So they do have it worded a little better down here, it looks like, for, you know, figuring out how to actually use it. But, like, here it says it's Bluetooth 4.0 mouse GD. So I guess we'll see what it actually ends up saying when I actually do this myself. But they do say 6 seconds in here, so that's good. On the other side, there's a weird thing again, though. They for some reason, they're really married to transmission as the way to write that, but you know, other than that, I mean, it's probably fine, right? How bad could it be?
All right, I've used this one for a couple days now as well, the Arc Mouse one, and it's fine. I was really more concerned about this because of the design idea of, like, it's like this, you know, arch design. And the idea is when it's like this and it's arched like this, you're using it. And I thought, like, you know, because basically you do that and then it's off. And then it's, you know, it doesn't do anything. So you have to, like, bend it in to turn it on instead of having a switch. But I was thinking, like, oh, isn't your weight gonna, like, of your hand gonna plop it down? But not really. It takes enough force to really do that. So it's very unlikely unless you're heavy-handed or you're, you know, you're a rager and you smash down on your mouse. I think the name was slightly different than the manual said as well when I paired it, but that really doesn't matter. But yeah, I think if you have a bigger hand than I do, it's actually probably fairly comfortable. Because, like, you know, I think, like, my hand's a little small for this. If you had a bigger hand, you'd get, like, the same, like, experience of a big, like, hump on a mouse. A little less to grab onto, no side buttons, but, like, if you want something that is really thin and it can slip into, like, a bag or even just put this into your pocket, I mean, that's a pretty good thing to do when you do it, like, you know, boom, so like that, right? That's pretty small. And it just runs on a couple AAA batteries. Yeah, that could totally work that way. Yet you still get the you know, the niceties of a, you know, ergonomics of a more curved mouse like this, instead of having to use something that's just like slim and flat all the time. So that's actually pretty cool. My only two gripes on this thing, really, I mean, I guess the clicks sometimes don't always activate super well, so that's a little bit of a problem, but it's not super, you know, it doesn't happen all the time, so it could just be me not getting the click well enough. The scroll area on here sucks. Just it's not a wheel, you just kind of have a vague area, and basically the issue I have is that it keeps doing this thing where it either won't move, or it'll, like, only move slightly when I want it to move more, or it'll move too much when I want it to move just a little bit. And also has the issue where it'll kind of go back on itself a lot. I'll, like, try to move it and then I'll, like, let go, or if I just, like, make a solid motion, it'll go and then it kind of, like, go back again, which is really annoying. And also this weird thing where, like, you can probably hear this. It's not the smoothest gliding. The front part is fine, but this little back part, this part is kind of, like, sharp and pointy-ish. So it's like that'll just kind of go on your mouse pad on the wood hard surface. You know, it's actually fine. So if you're gonna use it, that's maybe a better, you know, hard surface might be a better idea. But yeah, not a lot to say. It's I would give it a soft recommend if you like the idea of, you know, thin and portable, very light, able to put it in your pocket or something, you know, kind of thing, but still get the ergonomic use out of the curve. that's neat. Just not a very high quality mouse, not great for scrolling. There's probably a more expensive version of something like this you could get that will probably be a lot nicer and do exactly what you want in a way that's good. Okay, I stand corrected. The box says it incorrectly, as it'll show up as BT 4.0 mouse, but the manual does say it will show up as the Bluetooth 4.0 mouse GD. So it does show up the way that manual says. Maybe they made that later. So that's less sketchy. Still a little sketchy. This is the F-Mouse Ultra Compact 2-in-1 wireless Bluetooth mouse plus TF card reader, free 8 gigabit TF card rechargeable Type-C to USB adapter, ultra compact, 78 by 38 by 22 millimeters, perfect for mobile professionals, gray, for $20. Alright, not a ton to say about the packaging and stuff in here, but I will say quickly that a couple things here. So you have the bottom here. That's where the card goes. You can see maybe the card is in there. But it's actually, unless it's gotten easier after the first time, it's actually pretty hard to get out of here. Like, it springs out. Okay, maybe I just had to get out the first time. It was really hard to get out the very first time. So doing it now, it comes out, and it's an 8 gig card, so, you know, not the most amazing amount of storage or anything on there, but yeah, it's fine. Especially for free in here. If you're wondering how that works, it does have a wire on it, so the wire is actually conveniently put in this lanyard thing, which you could put on here. When I did try to put it through here, but I can't get it to go because the hole is like too small for me to even do. So that's fun. Not that you'd want it, you know, in your way when you're like trying to use it, you know, and it's down here on your hand and stuff. But in the lanyard thing, you get this little like cable here. And it just actually connects to the lanyard. So that's kind of neat that it kind of connects into there. You get the little shoestring cable on it, so it's USB-C here. So that is also, you plug it into here. You have it to be like that. It also has a charging cable. Then you have this little adapter if you want to use that as well to turn into USB-A, which some people may need. And there you go. Either way, whether you do it directly or with the dongle thing, that's how you actually connect the micro SD card to this, or TF card or whatever, which, I mean, I guess makes sense. I don't know how it would wirelessly send the data there. That probably would suck. But for some reason in my head, I'm like, I don't know. The novelty of that, we'll see if I do anything with that. I'm guessing not, but, but that's what's in the box, and the instructions are actually fine. I was surprised at how okay the instructions were, just telling you how it works. So we'll see how this goes. This is just disappointing. It's so disappointing because look, I wanted to like this one. It's small, it's light. It will not only fit like in a bag, but it'll fit like in your pocket, and you could take it with you with Bluetooth connection. It's got an actual scroll wheel on it. You can it's got actually a bit of a hump on it, a little bit. I mean, I would like to have more. It's not the most comfortable thing to use, but it's totally usable in terms of how it feels and works and everything, right? Like, I mean, yeah, okay, the micro SD card thing is silly anyways, because you have to plug it in to use it. It can't do it wirelessly or anything. So if you have to plug that in, you might as well just get a regular adapter. There's no reason to have this be your mouse. And, tethering a cable this short to your mouse, and then also trying to navigate it while it's like, to get files out of your thing and whatever, that's dumb. But it does work. So, I mean, there's something to be said about that. You get this cable, you get the lanyard, you get, this thing's super light. It has like a rechargeable battery in it, right? You get that. You get a 8 gig micro SD card. It's not a terrible package necessarily for $20, but oh yeah, the other thing I was gonna say is you could even have it as a thing for like presentations. You're out here like clicking on it like this, like to make your PowerPoint go to the next slide. I could see this being useful. Okay, I really could. But here's the big problem. Okay, so you see that little dot there? That's my mouse. So this is still plugged in right now, and it's gone into its sleep mode. And so, hopefully you can see this as it goes here. We'll blink, and,
Okay, that time it actually went right away. So here's the thing. Sometimes it seems to go and actually work right away, unless I accidentally hit that. But like, I've actually had a bunch of times where it goes to sleep on me and it has to reconnect, like, completely after like 10 minutes of not using it. And I think if I turn it off and on, it'll simulate the same thing that happens to me most of the time, where it just doesn't go for a while. Oh, and that's actually going faster, so maybe it actually sorted itself out. Look, here's the thing. If it's going to start doing this consistently, that's totally fine. It does lag a bit if you wait a couple of seconds and then, like, try to move. It doesn't, like, always go right away. Like, you'll wait a little bit and it's like, oh, it does, like, a semi-sleep almost. But, yeah, there kind of stutters around a bit. So it does that. Sometimes it'll actually just, like, not go for a full, like, 20 seconds when it doesn't want to connect, right? I don't know why. I'm also really baffled that now it just all of a sudden when I'm recording this it does work. So maybe it had a weird thing that sorted itself out. Because this is going much faster. Well, now it doesn't move there. Okay, it's a little finicky, and that unreliability makes me think you could probably get something better for $20. Something that's very similar in style and ergonomics and everything. Maybe minus the card reader you don't need. And I really can't recommend this just because, like I said, there were so many times where this thing just almost every time until I've done this recording, it's like if I have to leave it for like 10 minutes and it doesn't do anything, then I have to have it either click or something and have it turn back on or flip the power switch, and it takes like a solid 20 seconds to go again. And I don't know why that is. It's very, very disheartening to me. So, either way, I don't know. If you get one that doesn't have that weird issue, maybe mine was just a weird bug or a glitch or something, or maybe Windows was being weird for me. I'll be generous and say if you get one that totally works the way it's supposed to without that crazy, waiting 20 seconds every time between it, maybe it's okay. Maybe, but I wouldn't chance it, and I would say look for something maybe slightly better. But hey, maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones that gets this, and maybe they'll send you a different one if yours is defective. I don't know. Fucking, what do I know? I apparently lied about that. Oh. See, that's what it normally did to me, okay? That was like in real time what this thing did to me. And I'm almost more confused now that it doesn't do it every time. So it can work, but it just doesn't always work. Fucking. Okay, well the store page that I bought this off of labeled this as a TRELC gaming mouse with 5D rocker ergonomic mouse with 10,000 DPI / 11 programmable buttons, vertical gaming mice, wired for PC, laptop, esports, gamer, black. And it was $29. But clearly looking at this box, this is from Zelotes Vertical Mouse C18. It's pretty similar to the thing that I got on the page, but, the the page looked like this. And the thing is, this, I mean, it looks close, but I don't think it's even the same with the buttons and stuff. I think they sent me, oh no, the scroll wheel's on the side there. Maybe it's the same thing, just branded differently, but that's weird that it has a different name on both the things. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but that's what they did to me. I was, I made a mistake here, made a boo-boo doing the vertical mouse thing. On the bottom you see these things that say remove on them. I don't know if it's going to show up real good on camera there. It says remove all on these things, so I tried to remove it, and I think it's just a layer on the top I was supposed to remove, but it peeled the whole thing off when I tried to do it. So can I put that back on there? It didn't seem that bad when it was here. That may affect a little bit of the slidiness here. Let me try and see if I can just peel it off of that. Oh god. Why is it easier to get under the... It was easier to get underneath the whole thing than it was just to peel this off. So when they say remove, they mean remove the little top part, not why didn't you just not have that covered in the first place? That would have been safer for me, apparently. Okay. Well, I got the other ones on a little bit better. I feel less bad because in this little bag they also gave me replacement ones. So, yeah, you might want to consider either just leaving the sticker on, I guess, if you're worried about it. But they do give you these because they knew that this happens. So that's not a great sign. But I guess I'm glad I have those, so I can replace this one. I guess. Also, this came in the bag with the whole the disc of I assume these are the drivers or something. I don't think unless this is actually software, which I do have something to use this with. But I was like, why the hell would it come with a disc? Nothing comes with a disc anymore. But I was looking on the box here, and like it goes all the way back to like Windows fucking 2000. So, yeah, it's I mean, I guess it could work with anything. I guess it's nice for compatibility's sake that they've done this, but I was not expecting a disc. There, that looks better. That should glide a little smoother. Ignore the... Well, some of the scratches on the bottom were me because I was trying to scrape off the residue from the last one of these. Some of the scratches down here, I think, were just already there. Okay, looking at the manual for the vertical mouse, gaming mouse thing, they have a whole section here about macros, and I don't understand almost any of that. And I believe that is to do with the software, which I don't know. I might try that on my Linux PC or Linux computer if it'll let me. I don't know that I want to throw shoddy software on my questionable software on my computer that I actually use all the time. And then yeah, I don't understand a lot of this stuff, how that works, and I never use macros anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. Also, system requirements up here, it lists IBM or compatible computer. Like, how fucking... I'm sorry, how old is this? But I've never gotten anything that I noticed in my lifetime of being conscious of it, I guess, where it mentions in IBM compatible. Also, it mentions that in the box it should have got a foot mat. I'm assuming they mean this. One time's like these are foot mats, I guess. But I noticed when I turn around, they are 3M, so they're legitimate foot mats. I mean, they didn't skimp on it. Also, it's got apparently I forgot this has like RGB, like a strip there, so that'll be neat. And apparently this is a WASD is the joystick on it, so that'll be interesting to do. Also, it says some other stuff that I don't know that it means anything. Any of this information looks useful to you. It's there for that. But that's, I think, everything else. That's about all that matters. And then you can also get it in multiple other languages. All right, I don't know how to make this look good in a shot. You really can't. Let's just say it. This is supposed to be an ergonomic mouse and all that, and this design is just ugly. It just makes it look like, your mouse was mutated. It fell into some kind of radioactive goo, and it came out like this monstrosity. But it does have cool RGB. That actually does look pretty cool. I like that. I also will say that I'm surprised at how comfortable this is to just kind of like sit here and hold. I can see this actually being a good solution for there's something to it, basically what I'm saying. There's not like just like, it's not all smoke and mirrors with like, oh, this doesn't mean anything, it's not like the ergonomic mouse is not a gimmick thing or some kind of like just weird art statement thing. It actually does feel kind of good. If I had a larger hand, this would be a lot easier to hold, I think. Or let's say a normal sized hand. You still got forward, backward. You got your DPI button, which when you hit that, it actually will change the little lights here to see how much DPI you have. Full DPI. And you have like the little joystick thing here for WASD stuff. That's interesting. I'm sure you could remap some of this somewhere, but it didn't come with software. You still got the scroll button and scroll wheel thing going on. So this thing actually is surprisingly good.
I mean, some of my clicks don't work quite well because I end up moving while I'm trying to click for some reason, and I think it's just because I'm also like a little bit lost when I'm holding this. I'm like, wait, am I on what am I on? Because I'm holding the side of something rather than like setting it down like this. If I had it like this, no problem. I could stop and push down on this, but since I'm kind of pushing to the side, also I feel like I'm clicking and kind of pushing when I click. I kind of end up moving with it, which is I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That might just be a me thing, but definitely better than I thought. If you want something like this, I would recommend getting something probably that's a little nicer. I would think. I mean, this isn't bad, but something that fits your hand better, something that has buttons you want and like a look you want. And as for like the little joystick, well, I did do a little bit of gaming on it, so we'll just throw it in here, right here.
All right, it's a gaming mouse. I'm gonna try gaming on this and see how this goes. I can't imagine this is gonna go beautifully well, but you know, I figured I would do. Argument buttons enter. No. So I will need a keyboard for that. New game. Let's start at the beginning, and I'll do easy, so I won't die. So the idea is that this little D-pad on the top, this little thing on the top is supposed to be like WASD movement. And this is aiming. So, can I? Wait. What's forward? There's left and right, but I can't move forward with it. How do I move forward? Oh, this is already a problem. So W isn't forward. What would forward be if not? If left and right are still A and D, shouldn't W be forward? What is forward? Oh, this was maybe a poor choice. I can shoot though, right? No. Left click does not shoot. Left click does not shoot. I can scroll wheel does nothing. Scroll button, no. I can only move sideways. Okay, so this is not going to work well for that. What are the bindings? Forward and backward or up and down? Oh, turn left and right? So strafe left and right is just that. Oh, God. Okay, let's try maybe a different game. God damn it. Wait, it's mouse setup? Can I do... Yeah, that's all fine. We'll try a different game, I guess. God damn it. Alright, let's see if heavy bullets works better with regular movement. Let's just do new. Should be pretty simple. Yeah. I don't think it saved my my stuff from my cloud or anything. Okay. And immediately the mouse is not recognized for some reason. Nothing is doing anything. Is this mouse? No. Do I have any controls? Can I do... Oh, maybe the game is just frozen. Oh, what a lovely start. Uh-oh. Are you serious? Does it not work, or... Uh-oh. Windows. Okay. Okay, so now I have control again, it looks like. Can I play? Escape. Can I do controls? Does anything do anything? Does nothing do... I just don't have any controls? Keyboard and mouse mode. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now we can probably play it. Okay. Escape. Okay, now we can play. That's good. That's a start. This is okay. This is way too sensitive. That's fine. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, I can strafe. Oops, I dropped my bullet. Where'd my bullet go? Well, okay. Well, this actually is not as terrible as I would think. This should be. I'm just terrible at it. Okay, I'm gonna turn my DPI up maybe, and that'll make it better. Is that how DPI works? Is that you have it higher, you might be better? My DPI is now at the max. That is not bad. That is worse. Okay. So that's okay. Okay, so I need a thing to get in here, it looks like. I barely remember how to play this. I gotta push something to do that. What is that? Oh, I can shoot it open. Oh, that works. How? Also, don't seem to have sound. For some reason. So this is going very well. But... Oh, I dropped all my bullets. Well, okay, so here's the thing. You can do it. But the problem is, and I just wanted to really accentuate that, is this thing, okay? This little thing on the top here. Let's can I zoom in on that? Will that even work? It's like if you're trying to use the little controls nub on here and you're holding it, like it's already weird because you're holding it and it's like, okay, well if I'm putting this up here, well then like I don't have anything on this other side of the mouse. So how am I supposed to like use that? It's just gonna slide away from me as this pushes it that way, right? Because I have nothing to hold it. Whereas if I'm gonna use like this hand to move this around while I still like have control over moving it, it's gonna make this motion's gonna be awkward. I'm gonna be two-handing a broom or something. Like it's weird. And if I have to use my second hand to use this anyways, I might as well be using the keyboard. That being said, this did work better than I thought. I thought it was immediately going to be like, there's no way, it's not even going to work. But it can work, and maybe if you have like a larger hand, it's more doable. Maybe. But I just had to try something just to see proof of concept. You could probably get decently good with this thing. It's probably not going to be better than a more standard style of mouse that has way better settings for actually being good at professional game. You're not going to use this for tournament play. You're going to use this as like a, that's more comfortable. And I get the movement of a joystick. Well, I get the precision of the mouse. I get the idea. It's just not like this. This is the Perix Trackpad 501 wired USB touchpad portable trackpad for laptop and desktop user, black, small size, 11284. And this one was $25. This one was just open in the box when I got it, and I don't know why the box was already open. Somebody looked at it, or if it's like a used product, because like it's also like it looks like it's got like dirt or something, like or like something was spilled on it maybe. Like those stains are there. I just took it out of the box, so I don't know. That's not a great sign. All right, so this one honestly, is really not that bad. I was pretty skeptical, especially because this is like actually really light. Also, sorry, the exposure is going to be crappy because it's a black thing on a black pad. I didn't think that out for the shot very well, but you can kind of see it when I'm not in there. And like, I mean, it is incredibly light. I think like this makes a feather feel heavy. It's incredibly light, and it is wired. But I feel like they could have put a weight in it or something. But these rubber feet do actually a pretty good job on it, because then it's here. It really doesn't move around, even though it is super light. It's not going to go flying around, especially when your hand's on it and doing this. The just natural weight of your hand along with the rubber just makes it stay in place pretty well. So that's good. I mean, it has these buttons if you like to have the actual physical clicking buttons. These are fine. I mean, I don't know that you need the nubs on the edges of them necessarily either, but they work just fine to do, clicks and left click, right click, whatever. It works kind of the way you think it would. I don't know what the arrows are really for. Like, I didn't notice this doing anything. It's not like a control thing, so I don't know why you have the arrows here. Honestly, I don't think this means anything. The touchpad itself works like a laptop touchpad, trackpad, whatever. Like, you have your clicks, and you can do clicks, your double clicks. You can do this to right click with 2 fingers. You can actually use a 3-finger swipe. You can pinch to zoom. You can 2-finger scroll, whatever. This it does everything the gestures will do normally, like a trackpad will do. So that's good. And the only real downside, I think, to this is that it doesn't have a very big area compared to, like, most modern
laptops will have a bigger area than this little bit, usually because they also don't have the physical buttons anymore. So if you like the physical buttons, that's cool for you, I guess. But it's yeah, I mean it's fine. I guess you can get other ones of these that cost probably a little bit more, and they will be all pads. You don't have the buttons on them, and it'll be more space to move around. Because there were some times when I was trying to like move stuff across the screen or highlight things, and I didn't have quite enough room once I started way like on the edge or the corner or whatever, and like went over. So it's not the perfect thing. You can change your sensitivity and stuff, I guess, to help calibrate for that, I suppose. But the reason that this is where it is in the list is the way I think it's just very strange is that well, why would you want this for your mouse? Usually, if you have a standalone mouse, you just want it to be like a regular mouse. The reason that these things exist on like laptops is because, well, you can't carry a mouse in the laptop or whatever. So this was kind of a solution to so you always have a mouse with it, just always attached. So having it detached doesn't really do a lot of good unless like a few niche scenarios. Let's say you have a laptop that sits further away when you have it on a desk, and you still want to use the touchpad controls, the touchpad, trackpad. Are they the same thing? Are they different? You still want to use a trackpad, or like, let's say you have a docking station for your laptop, and so still gives you the same kind of control as you would have when it's not docked like that. Because you just like this, or maybe you have a desktop, and again, you just really like this aspect of laptops, but you don't like all of the other things. You still want to control your mouse this way. Or lastly, something like things like maybe your trackpad's broken, maybe you really want the two buttons here for clicking stuff, and you miss that on modern laptops, so you're getting this to kind of compensate for that. Niche things could make this usable. Just most people, I don't know that they would bother. But honestly, it's not bad. It's perfectly functional, and I was able to use it pretty much no problem. So yeah, it's strange, but it's not bad. And if you fit that niche, I could recommend it for you. This is the Mini Square Mouse 2.4 GHz wireless dual Bluetooth connection compatible with all major operating systems, high precision sensor, customizable multi-function buttons, silver. And this one costs $30, and it came in a bag, and it didn't. And it had a case. So it didn't really have its own box. So you're looking at it. Okay, this one came with its own little carrying case thing. It just came in this. It has little pockets for everything, like the manual and the cable and everything. And this is the mouse. The manual actually had a couple of funny things in it. If I can get that off there. So they're very adamant about this. It's super easy, but they mention their patented their patented technology multiple times here. It's the Cap 2 mouse, by the way. So they like to mention that. They mention it over here a little bit too. They also have issues with spaces between things. Also up here, they're like, hey, the contents, you should also have a user manual. I think it's kind of ridiculous to list the manual you're holding. If I don't have this, then obviously I don't have it, and I can't take inventory of anything else. So that's kind of funny. And the other thing, like most of this is pretty simple. But yeah, there's just a lot of places where like they just like forgot to put spaces into stuff. They also have how to honorate magic wheel button. There's just little things here where it's not it's some effort gone into here, but like the mouse itself, interestingly, they give you this I'm assuming this is probably patented too, the pressure roller. I don't know if it's going to come up on the screen there, be readable. But this actually comes out of here even too. This is like a thing. So the actual whole mouse is like tiny, and it is aluminum. I mean, like they do have that, and they actually have the little like switches and buttons and things on the bottom, which is actually it's this way. I'm trying to figure out which way is up. So they managed to fit a lot of stuff on here. I'm actually kind of impressed by that, but I guess we'll see what it's like when we actually use it. But yeah, definitely points for presentation. This is a lot more than I expected for this little piece of crap. It's probably the smallest one too, almost. We'll see.
Okay, well, I'm having a hell of a time getting this little square thing. I know my light's not on, but I can't get the little square mouse thing to work. with Bluetooth, which is what I wanted to use so I could keep my port free. If I switch on to Bluetooth to one of these, it'll show up, a new device will show up here. Actually, it won't here on the first Bluetooth one, it doesn't like show up at all. But as soon as I switch to the second one, something will pop up like right after that. Usually. Oh, now it's not going to, is it? Oh, now it did. No, that's a different thing entirely. It's supposed to show up as like Hedgehog Mouse or something, like the manual says. And it's not. Anything that shows up here is unknown and I can't connect to it. It's not a Govee. It's not a jukebox. I don't know. So I guess I can't really use this in Bluetooth mode because it just doesn't work, which is annoying and stupid. So hopefully the other thing works. Otherwise, this is actually just unusable. Okay, so I was able to get this to connect. The way I did it was I had to have it on the Bluetooth mode, and unlike the manual said, it just says to turn it on to that and pair it, I also had to hit the little button on the bottom here for Bluetooth pairing. So once I hit this button, then it worked. It showed up, or I had to hold it, and then it went into pairing, and then I could actually pair it. So now it's actually Bluetooth, which is nice because now that's how I wanted to use it. So that does work. All right, so this is the little. Apparently, Time X Player is the brand. I didn't realize that when I looked at the page. It wasn't really up front and center. This mouse is actually surprisingly better than I thought it would be as well, which is kind of a nice trend to have with some of these going on, I guess. It is very, see, it's pretty thin, it's pretty flat, it's very small. But surprisingly, it doesn't bother me with my small hands. Usually I like a big hump on it to kind of like that. And the way I manipulate a mouse is usually with my fingers like this anyways, more so. So that's why I like the hump up here, because I kind of claw over it, which probably isn't good. But with this, it seems to work pretty well to move around this way. Slides well. I think that the clicks feel actually nice. They're very silent clicks. They feel satisfying to do. It's comfortable to move around. I think that they put, like the metal is nice. They put a lot of engineering into you got your DPI button, your Bluetooth pairing. I mean, you saw probably the clip where it was hard to pair it with Bluetooth, I guess. But it's got that. You can do that or use the receiver. And you can, got like the little pad things on the bottom of this. It's engineered kind of a lot for what it is. And it's like, it definitely functions as a nice small mouse alternative if you want to put in your pocket. Even it would probably fit in there. It's just so small, or even in a bag. But this case you get with it, this probably would even fit in a pocket as well. It's pretty small, so it seems pretty good from what I was expecting. But I have a couple of issues with it that I think would make me hesitate to recommend this, at least as like a main mouse alternative or something you'll use a lot. Particularly the clicks. If you I've just had mainly the left clicks, I guess. They're inconsistent. Sometimes I'll click or try to double click, and it will do one of them or none of them, and I don't know why. And that inconsistency is not something you want in a mouse. The other big issue is with this M button on here, and you see that. This is a passive scroll wheel thing. They kind of we're touting this, so you can scroll with this thing by pushing down, and the amount of pressure you use can tell how much to scroll. Problem is, it's not very accurate for one. So I could get it to go sometimes kind of slower, or it would just go full on as fast as it can go. I couldn't find very much for a medium. There's not a lot of leeway between how much pressure to put on there before it goes super a lot. It also is difficult because it's kind of on a bit of a rocker or something here. So sometimes when I'm trying to make it scroll up or down, it just goes the other way and won't stop until I either really try to re-angle it, or if I let go and really try to scroll it, move it when I first push it. So it's kind of hard to recommend a mouse that sucks at clicks and scrolling. I mean, it's not it's constantly a problem, but a scrolling kind of is. But the clicks are only sometimes a problem. But that's not something you want in a mouse. Those are pretty basic functions a mouse has to kind of just get right, and this doesn't.
My other minor gripes are, I guess one of them, of course, was that the Bluetooth pairing thing you saw. But also, when it's in Bluetooth mode, again, it does the thing where it'll go to sleep after a while, which it thankfully doesn't do on the USB receiver, which is nice. But it goes to sleep, and to wake it up, you can't just jiggle it. You gotta actually hit a button on here, which I guess is good. But also, I always wonder if my mouse died. It's annoying. I'd rather just shut off when I flip the switch off. That's what the switch should be for, I think. Another thing is that if you're just having this in your pocket loose, I guess the problem there would be that like it kind of just comes out of this. I don't know if that's going to even see the writing on cam, but the pressure roller. I don't know what that really means, other than it's the holder for your little dongle, and it makes it easy to hold on to. Because without that, it's this freaking small. Which, again, my hands are small, but this is like gives you almost nothing to really hold on to, especially because like these don't take much pressure to like push them. So if you're like flipping this over to hit things like the DPI buttons or mess with the switches, you'll probably end up clicking stuff while you do it. It's not on right now. That's why I'm handling it so. But it's yeah, probably just too small at this point to be super useful, unless you really like having a super cramped hand like this. And it's just, yeah, I wouldn't recommend this thing, mainly because of these, it has issues. That's the only thing. It's like, I think I like the idea of a little mouse you can put in your pocket and have it for like, your travel mouse to have with a tablet or a laptop or something, and just maybe even on your phone, I don't know, and just kind of have it work. But I don't know. It's if you're gonna get something like this, I think you could probably get something a little like either better or something that's as good but cheaper, because $30 feels like a lot for something that has these glaring issues. Oh yeah, if you want to do the scroll wheel button, how would you push that, right? Because this is a button. You hit left and right click. That's how you simulate hitting the scroll wheel. I forgot to mention that. Does that matter? It probably doesn't. Though I will admit that having it be a square is not as silly as I thought. I thought that's like, well, that's gonna be a awkward thing. Why would you want a mouse that's square that you're moving around? But actually, that really isn't a big problem. So that's neat, I guess. This is the Yumqua Finger Mouse Handheld Trackball Mouse Fingertip Mini 4D USB Handheld Wired Pointer Thumb Ball Mouse with roller for laptop, Mac, Windows computer. Fits left and right-handed users for $20. Alright, so I thought you were supposed to hold it this way. And I'm like, that seems weird. No, you're supposed to hold it like this, thankfully. The manual told me. But the manual also has a couple things here I wanted to show off a little bit. I don't know that I totally understand what all this means. Back and forward button is just the same button. Press the button to change the cursor shape, the rolling trackball to move page up and down or around. So I don't know if you have to hold that button to do that, or what exactly that means. And 4D page scrolling function can be controlled simply by your thumb. What the fuck does... I don't think 4D is a thing, much less can you do it with a mouse. I don't... If that is... I mean, there probably is a fourth dimension of something, but... yeah. And then the other thing... where is it here? Yeah, special design can avoid the harm on your wrist and muscle, greatly reduces discomfort or arthritis, and CTS suffers. What? And then like, yeah, easy to use, left or right hand, or cradled between both. Like somebody's gonna like, oh yeah, it'll be really comfortable to just do this and manipulate it this way. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm looking at how this is, and maybe that will be an optimal way to use it. And here it actually says it's compatible with Windows 98, 2000 XP, Vista. Goes all the way back to fucking 98. Mac, and so on. you know, operating systems, they have different names. It will work on them. That also comes with this little tool and the guide for it that you can use to dig in there. Actually feels pretty good.
to like dig in there and like disassemble it so you can get the ball out, because you know how like old computer mice had the ball thing in them and then it would get all dirty and stuff from like the stuff on your mouse pad that they'd be rolling around on. Well, now it's on the top of your mouse, and it will and it'll accumulate all of the gunk from your hand and put that in there instead. So it's great. I'm sure there's some benefit to this, but I think it will be lost on me.
Okay, look, I definitely wanted to dunk on this one a bit. I'm like, I've never been a big fan of the idea of a trackball mouse because having this physical ball, I kind of figured, oh, well, you're going to be, I'm used to a mouse that would have it on the bottom like this, right? That's how you used to have your mice actually work before they were all like, the digital whatever things. But this actually isn't too bad to actually manipulate the mouse around once you get the sensitivity down. I'm sure there's better, more accurate balls than this. Like trying to do big movements doesn't really work very well. But, it works decently well, actually. I'm really surprised at this. That it's not like... I just expected it to be terrible garbage, I guess, for whatever reason. And like I say, while you can get better stuff, and like, yeah, it'll probably get dirty with the gunk of your fingers and everything eventually. You'll have to clean this. That's why they give you the tool to do so. I mean, I used this for a few days here, and like, it hasn't had that problem. But I'm just surprised at how usable it is, because it's like, I can move the mouse around just fine, and I think that, the mouse click down here, yeah, still makes the click. So I could see this being really awesome for like a first-person shooter if you can get this dialed in, and then pulling the trigger like this could be really satisfying. But it obviously is kind of designed a bit more for like the way they're advertising it. Oh yeah, it's for like, presentations and stuff, which you'd probably still want it to be wireless for that. It does have a cable that's like the thinnest cable ever, but it is pretty long, so like I guess you could have it pretty far from whatever it's plugged into, but you still have to be mindful of like not tangling yourself up in this. So as long as you're not turning around a bunch or anything, this could work for being like a presentation pointer thing, clicking on stuff. I feel like you're supposed to kind of hold it like this, though a lot of times I found myself holding it more like this, with like, this hand kind of up here, finger up here, just for more control over it. Because that's the thing too, is if you wiggle this too much, the ball moves. And if the ball is moving more, like, you'll let go and it still moves, and it like will move the mouse around. So I did have that happen. You have to be mindful of the ball, especially when it's freely moving around up here. But you have this here, like your right click, and this is your scroll wheel button, your middle click button, which is maybe a little weird to have over here, but I think it works well to be like, left and right click, and it does actually work pretty well. Again, I can see this being mapped for certain games and things to be actually pretty useful. And actually, I found out while using this that if you hit the scroll wheel button while you're hovering over a tab in Google Chrome, you can close that tab with it. I found that out by mistake because I didn't mean to. I was trying to find out what this button did, and then I just like, what's happening? And then I found out, oh, it's doing that. So that's what that does, which actually with this you might want, because it might be a little hard to navigate this directly onto the little X, your pointer right on that X of the Google Chrome tab. So if you hit this button while you're hovering over it, it's easier to close it, and it might be easier for some people as well. If the X is like, I don't hit the little corner of that, and I want to go too far and click the other tab or whatever, it could be a little shortcut. So you'll learn something today. The only other thing I would say that goes against this thing, other than, it is still a little awkward and unwieldy, just in general versus a regular mouse, is that this one touts being good for like, it's good for men. And it's like, what the hell does that mean? I assume they mean like, with larger hands, because other computer mice are small. But if you look at this, again, my hand is pretty small, and this is how big it is in my hand. So imagine somebody with like a normal size hand. This thing would probably still be too small to like fit fingers through here and like be up here. It would just be kind of awkward, I would think, to have you be like, you can still reach everything, but you'd be probably trying to claw yourself back to actually push these instead of just like going like flat over with like the other part of your fingers and thumbs and stuff. So it's definitely not bad. And oops, well, maybe now it is. And yeah, I'm just surprised at how usable this was, because I really thought this was just going to be an absolute pain and a chore to use, and it's actually pretty good. I don't think I would recommend buying this unless you really need something like this. Get a wireless one if you need it for presenting, but the idea of this like design is not bad, and again, like the trackball is more usable than I thought. So I was wrong on that for sure. Definitely get something that's on the cheap side if you want to just test it out, and then you get a more premium one if you want to figure out what you want for the other features and such. But it definitely very very interesting. I'm very interested. Not terrible. This is the Lychee Wireless Optical Pocket Pen Mouse, 2.4 gigahertz USB wireless optical pen mouse, 800/1200/1600 DPI adjustable handwriting mini mice for PC, laptop, notebook, computer, Mac, blue. And this cost me just $11.
More perusing the packaging, the pen one. I noticed the manual says the newest thing that supports, listed anyways, is Windows 8. I also like how Android, Linux, and Mac OS are just listed as if, yeah, any of those will do. Versions, who cares? I think this is a little stand thing to put it in, and it comes with, like, the receiver. It also comes with friggin', like, 2 different adapters. So this one's like a USB-C adapter, which it looks like USB 3, which seems like overkill for this. And this is and a micro USB. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess that does give you an idea of Windows 7, Windows 8, micro USB. I don't know. It probably won't connect to your computer with that. I wouldn't think, but maybe a phone or tablet or something. Also, they on the flap here, they had it sealed with their quality check pass thing. And I don't know why it also says black. I'm not sure if that's at the level that it passed it, or I don't know. But you have to take that off in order to open the thing, so they want you to forget that it passed that check, I guess. Oh, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. They oh yeah, it's sealed on this side too, same way. But they did update it on the box. Apparently the box is newer, and that they say it also supports, where'd it go? 7, 8, 10, and 11. And they actually say Mac OS 10.13 and above. And apparently they no longer mention Android and Linux at all. So, something to... Well, we saw it anyways. The front of the box also... I don't know why they hide the extra things for connecting it. You think they want to show those off, like this little window, but or the stand. But they did have a little space here to say both hands, which I assume means you can use it with either hand, like it's an ambidextrous mouse. I think, but when you just put both hands, what does that mean? What are you trying to say?
All right, the pen mouse is it's not as horrible as I thought it would be. It's kind of a running trend. These aren't none of these have been as bad as I expected them to be, honestly. Because it's got the optical sensor down here on the bottom, so like you basically have to kind of face it forward like this. So like this is up and down, left and right kind of thing, and that's okay in theory. The problem is if I'm like using an actual pen, a lot of times I'm like moving it around more, and I'm like I might be kind of twisting it and turning it in my hand a bit to use different like drawing or other things or whatever. So like well, that can be sort of a problem with this, because then, like, it doesn't really go one-to-one like a touchscreen would do. It's going to move wherever the sensor is. Now this is up and down when you're going left and right if it turns too far, and that's not going to translate to your screen. So it doesn't really help that much with writing unless you are really, deliberate about keeping it facing the same way. I don't know, like, it still feels a little uncomfortable to, like, claw around it like this. I feel like... because this is the left click button is on the top, so I feel like I'm kind of just like going like this all the time. Can't really hold it that naturally. It's a bit big and bulky. They didn't give me a AAA battery with it either. Not that it was hard to get one, but still, you couldn't give me one of those in the box. The scroll wheel is also a little close to this, so you kind of end up almost hitting this. I don't like the DPI button. I never really need DPI buttons. but everything seems to think they need to give me one. I've only ever hit it by mistake. That's annoying. So I don't know if maybe there's a better way to hold this and do this. Maybe I'm supposed to do more like that, or like I don't know. I kind of was like, I had a few different ways of kind of trying to like maneuver this thing. Another problem with clicking as well is that when you're clicking, like you can probably even see it like this. If you click, you're putting pressure on this, and that's going to make this move. So if this is close enough to like your surface and you try to double click, well, you're probably going to move a little bit, and so it'll like click and drag something instead of like trying to actually, or like highlight something instead of actually doing the double click. You have to kind of like get it on position, like let go and get far enough away where it won't move anymore, and then double click, or be super still and really stiff to double click. It's hard. It's actually not very good at all. This on the side here is the right click. On the weirdly on the left side of the thing is the right click. And I mostly use this because of, other than actually right-clicking, I mostly use this because this thing stupidly falls asleep all the time. It has that annoying thing going on, so you can like just like flip the power switch down here, off and on, and then it will be on again. You'll be fine to move it around. But the problem with that then is like, if you don't want to do that, then you're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna like, I want to keep going. So if I click somewhere, well, when you click, or hit the DPI button or whatever, it's gonna, like, you can't do the scroll wheel, by the way. There's also no scroll wheel button, so that's not a button, it's just the scroll wheel, so that's a function you don't have. So basically you have to hit one of the clicks, or like the DPI button or something, or flip the power switch to make it go, and if you click, it's gonna turn it back on, but it's also going to do the click that you pressed to turn it back on from its like sleep mode, which is really irritating, because if I had my mouse left somewhere I don't know where it was, I might accidentally like start playing a video or click into something or close something I didn't mean to do because it was just already there. And that obviously also kind of sucks. I'm also still a little confused as to why they gave me like a... I mean, I've used the adapter for like the USB-C, or USB-A to USB-C adapter, but why did they give you the USB-A to micro USB adapter? Like, oh, are you going to use this on an older tablet or like an old phone or something? Like, what's going to use micro USB that you're going to plug this into? I don't think any computers really have that, so it's a really bizarre choice. Also, you have the little like docking station thing here, right? Because like the idea behind it is that when you're done using it or whatever, like, oh, I'm going to set this down. Well, you don't want to just like set it down, because then like the laser thing on the bottom is going to be glowing everywhere. Like if I turn it on, hey, I think it's all plugged in. Yep, I do. That's just going to be glowing everywhere. So you don't want that. So the idea is, well, then you have to pick it up again and stuff. It's like, well, you can put it in your little holder here, right? I guess, but it's like always have this weird angle in here. It's a pretty cheap holder. You can still use it when it's in the holder as well, because there's like a hole in the bottom. So like you could do this, but it's like also really hard on the bottom of this. So you probably don't want to do this, like even on like a mouse pad, it like scratches around. So while it does give you a bit more precision in what you're doing, and it's easier to do like a double click in here without moving it around, the obvious issue again is it doesn't slide around very well. It's not like padded or anything. So I think that there's probably a decent enough concept here. If you got one that was not $11, that might be a little bit better designed for your hands and some of the functions and stuff, maybe. But I also think that this is the pen idea is probably better for touchscreen devices rather than an optical mouse kind of thing. So yes, unfortunately I would not recommend this almost really at all. This is the high-speed mini 2.4 gigahertz USB wireless lazy finger rings optical mouse 1600 DPI for PC, laptop, desktop, black. And this cost me $16. Okay, I was all prepared to kind of dunk on the finger mouse. I mean, this thing came in a bag inside of another bag. It was also wrapped in bubble wrap, wrapped up a lot, and somehow the box still got messed up. But the manual is actually pretty good, surprisingly. They actually explain a bunch of stuff. There's not a bunch of typos, and it tells you how to work. the thing pretty well. What is the one part here where they're like, so they're saying up here, yeah, due to inconvenience of this laptop touchpad, the mouse becomes a commonly used peripheral. Currently, those mice targeting laptop users feature portability and miniature, but they are difficult to grip, and especially for men users. I just thought that was funny, especially for men users. Like, it's harder for a man to hold a mouse because our hands are bigger, I guess. Usually, not mine, but they go into a lot of detail on like how to use it and stuff's going on here. So the manual's actually pretty good, and yeah, it's another one to come in a actual little carrying case thing. And honestly, this is crazy light. Like, I had to open this up to be like, oh, it actually is in here. This thing is it's like weighs nothing, and it looks a little ridiculous to use. So it'll be fun to I can't imagine it's going to take me more than a day to realize I hate this, but it'll be an interesting experience.
I hate it. Easily the shortest test period for all of these. I can't do this, okay? The idea they call this, like, a lazy finger mouse. Oh, it's lazy. Because you're not holding a mouse, it's just on your finger. When it's a huge bunch of weight on your finger, you're basically doing weight training on your hand. I'm going to be able to flip people to bird like nobody's business after this. This is ridiculous. Because I was thinking, you know, oh, it'll be kind of neat, because it'll be like, oh, then when I don't want to, like, you know, use a regular mouse thing, I can, like, do, like, some kind of motion or gyro thing or something. But no, it doesn't do that. It's just a regular optical mouse. So when you want it to actually do stuff, you have to move it around, and that's what it does. It's just a mouse. Just a regular optical mouse like this, and you like have to awkwardly have it in your hand or whatever like that. So you have to have it like strapped to you, which also it's just like you have to have it tight enough so it doesn't fall off, and like have it in the right position so that when you're going to like use this, it still like can be functional without having to contort your hand too much. But also you have to have it in the right position, because you're going to type stuff. Well, this is going to like kind of get in the way sometimes maybe and be like really heavy, so you can't have it too low to be hitting other keys and stuff, and it's going to make you type weird because of the extreme amount of weight being pushed down on your finger. So it's not really great for typing either. Like, okay, here's the thing. I understand that this could be very situationally niche way, right? If you're somebody who's like, you're doing stuff with your hands, but you also need to be manipulating stuff on your computer intermittently, and you're like jumping between, like, I have a little station over here, I'm doing stuff, and I'm doing stuff over here and doing stuff over here, and so you don't have to keep jumping back to like your computer desk to do stuff with the computer with your mouse. You can just be like, no, I'm going to be going over here or whatever, and now I'm over here, and oh, I'm ready to skip an ad, or I'm ready to move to this next thing or something, and I can just kind of do this and quickly do that. There you go. But otherwise, it's just, you know, not really very useful or comfortable. It's going to be very, very niche. And I will say also, at least, like these things, little wings here they have for the clicks, yeah, those are actually totally fine. They have like a nice, like, thin kind of like, I don't know, they're like wings on them here that make them really easy to hit. The thin but big scroll wheel, again, also really easy to like manipulate. There's no scroll wheel button or anything, but like, yeah. So, I mean, the feel of these things is actually pretty good, but it's just this concept. Like, it's just not going to be useful to almost anyone. And, oh god. Like, at the end of the day, you're mostly just using a bullet-shaped mouse that, like, you move around like this, which even just like this might be okay, I guess, maybe, but it's just, it's not quite there, and I don't know if this concept is good enough to be a general use thing. This is kind of awful. It's so close to being kind of neat, and it just misses the mark. If you're somebody who wants to use one of these, do let me know. Like, what is the use case that I'm missing where you're like, that's actually great, that's genius, that's perfect. I don't know, but for me, this just is very uncomfortable, and
Sucks.
Alright, well, after trying out all of these, I will say I am really happy to be using my normal mouse again. That's for sure. The winner is easily the Hoglet mouse. Not just because it could be helpful, but also, you know, it's just an okay mouse in general. You can even take this off and just have it be a normal mouse. And it's okay. So, congratulations. You get to maybe stay in my closet and for have me never use it. Let's be real. But I know what you wanted to see. And I think you know that this is it. This is the thing that's gonna get the thing. So I'm about to give the finger the hammer. What the hell are you still doing here? Well, as long as you're here, I just wanted to quickly add that a couple things. First of all, I was actually really surprised and kind of impressed at just how much I could really do. Like, a lot of these mice were surprisingly usable and, like, functioning. I mean, I thought some of these were just going to be so out there that I couldn't even stand using them. But I could use pretty much all of them if I had to, I think. And the other thing is, like, just none of them were just crap that, like, totally didn't work, which for as low of prices as I could find, I really thought would be the case. I'd use it and, you know, it would just kind of not work or it would break right away. Now, in fairness, I only used them for a few days at a time for each, so it's not like I sat here, like the reviews will probably say for certain things where, like, it broke after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Maybe that'll happen, but didn't happen to me. And I also just wanted to quickly add that the 8-bit do one, I will probably actually keep this one as well, because while the other ones are junk, I don't really need them. I'll keep the Hoglet, and this one I'll probably just have for a display because, yeah, it's not very good to use at all, but it does look pretty cool. So, if nothing else, I can set it up and have it look neat, which is not really the point of a mouse, but it's better than being garbage, which is also not the point of a mouse. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and could you get out of my house? No? Okay, I'll guess I'll leave. You can have the house, I guess. Asshole.